Hey guys, it's me, the dude who talks, and welcome to today's video. So for today, I'm going to be talking about the band Agvirre and their upcoming debut EP, Silence, which is out on the 24th of January through Trepanation Records and Surviving Sounds. So, Agvirre are a post-black metal band hailing from Manchester and features musicians who are very prominent in the local Manchester scene. So, the EP, did I dig it, or was it so bad that it incited the wrath of Harry? Well, let's find out. So the 3 tracks off this EP, and the first one being called Radio Silence Fill In The, and which is a brief 2-minute long ambience intro, which then leads off into Muzzle and Mask. And the first impression I have with listening to Muzzle and Mask is the drumming. It is really impressive, and it wastes no time getting things off the ground with some blast beats right from the start. And that's not all that's going on here. There's violin interspersed throughout, which kind of gives it that emotional contrast to the black metal riffing you'll be hearing throughout. And the guitars, yeah, they're very heavy sounding, very dense, gives it kind of that primitive slab of black metal, and it feels like very drenched in feedback. Now, the vocals. Now, while it's not deep and guttural like the way I like my vocals, it definitely does have some, emotional weight behind the vocals. I can feel the raw emotion that it's going through the vocals. Yes, I've said vocals a lot of times. But, yeah, while it's not, deep and growling, it's definitely, I do like the style of it. This kind of very, heavy, throaty style. So that's not all that's happening in Muzzle and Mask. There's some brief moments of experimentation with synth and electronics throughout the song, which kind of gives it that nice experimentation to the song. So my initial impression with Silence is that it's what the album Born Into Trouble as the Sparks Fly Upwards, yeah, it's a very long title, by A Silver Mount Zion, and yes, I know they were called something different when they released that album, but I stubbornly refuse to call them anything other than A Silver Mount Zion. Anyway, tangent over. It's what I would imagine that album would sound like if it had black metal elements incorporated into it. So, also here is a brief sample of Muzzle and Mask. Enjoy. So that leaves us with Abandonment, which is the last song off the EP and carries on in the same tradition as Muzzle and Mask. So it doesn't do much different from that song, which is obviously fine. Still carries on with the blast beats, the heavy guitar noise, and obviously the violins. And I honestly paid a lot more attention to the violin throughout the song. I felt it played a bigger part on Abandonment rather than Muzzle and Mask, in my opinion, as my ears sort of honed in on that rather than the guitars and drums and vocals. So while I did say it didn't do much different from Muzzle and Mask, there is something that it does do that is different, and it does introduce clean vocals towards the end of the song. And for a moment I was convinced that it was Paul Waller from Ohms doing guest vocals, which I don't think he did, but you know, would have been cool. So from listening to the EP, my thoughts was that it kind of reminded me a lot of Sunbather era of Death Heaven meets Pain, which is something that I can definitely get behind. Musically, it's recorded very well. I can hear all the instruments very clearly without it being too cluttered, and nothing felt really lost in the mix. So, yeah, these guys have definitely piqued my interest, and I would definitely recommend this if you're a fan of Death Heaven, Bosse-De-Nage, and Pain. So yeah, if you like interesting music, I definitely think you should give Silence a try. Alright. So that was me talking about Agvirre and the Silence EP. What do you think about these guys? Let me know what you think about them down below in the comments section. Like always, if you've enjoyed watching me talk about music like this, please like, share and subscribe. it really helps me out. And obviously a big thank you to anyone who has subscribed. So all I've got left to say to you guys is, I've been the Doo Doo Talks, and cheers.